From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening, more evidence issued in a murder conviction now over 20 years old.
That's right. Michael Alexander, who is currently serving a 198-year prison term, was convicted in 1988 for the murder of then 17-year-old West Valley High School student Kathy Stockholm. The Alaska Innocence Project filed for post-conviction relief, claiming the evidence used to convict Alexander was circumstantial and he was innocent of the crime. A point of contention in the filing has been the inability to locate the actual evidence used to convict Alexander. Today it was revealed that hairs sent to the lab for DNA testing turned out to be animal hairs and other fibers, not actual human hair samples. Bill Oberly with the Innocence Project stated he discovered that fact in an email. He went on to tell the court that there were 144 pieces of evidence that the FBI boxed up and sent back to the Alaska State Troopers, much of which is still missing. Oberly also pointed out that the state crime lab still has not completed testing on other biological evidence that has been estimated to be done in 30 days. That deadline has now passed. Another hearing in the case was set today for September.
A Fairbanks woman connected to a 2012 credit union robbery was back in court yesterday, charged with first-degree vehicle theft. 31-year-old Janessa Kempsky, who was convicted of theft in connection to that robbery, is now facing jail time after stealing a vehicle from a party. An affidavit states Kempsky was at a barbecue when she asked if someone could take her home. When no one would leave to drive her, she stole a vehicle and left the scene. Authorities say Kempsky was stopped in the stolen vehicle but never mentioned that she was not the owner. Kempsky was arraigned yesterday in Fairbanks District Court, where she refused to speak or even look at the judge. She is due back in court in August.
With near-record rainfall, the interior has seen little wildfire activity this season. According to officials with the State Division of Forestry, this season has been one of the slowest, with only 2 large wildfires in the state. That cannot be said for those in the lower 48 who have seen numerous fires in states such as Oregon, Washington, California, and more. Roughly 250 fire service personnel, as well as aircraft and equipment, have been shipped to the states in need. According to those with the Division of Forestry, the season is not over yet, and there is still potential for flare-ups. But August usually marks the end of fire season in Alaska.
Rain has pretty much put an end to our season here in Alaska. We have a potential for some starts in a few dry areas around the state, but really don't foresee anything growing like what we had go earlier in June with the Funny River fire and the 100 Mile Creek fire outside of Delta there. We've sent quite a few people out of state. They've had extreme fire behavior in the Northwest. They were losing homes, and we needed to share the resources that we weren't using to send people out there to those fires.
Ivan Bolden, the Chief of Public and Private Initiatives for the U.S. Army at the Pentagon, has been in Fairbanks this past week. He's looking at how the military and civilian communities can join forces to save money. Monty Bowen has details in this report.
Bolden works on implementing intergovernmental support agreements between state and local government and the military to create efficiencies and reduce costs. He came here to see how the program is working.
Well, I chose to come out here because the mayor and Colonel Zemp have just leaned way forward in coming up with some great conceptual ideas. And we in the Pentagon are grateful and thankful for their vision and their innovativeness.
Fort Wainwright has been participating with other local governments and military installations in the process created by Mayor Hopkins. In 2013, the mayor formed a core committee which includes the borough, Fairbanks and North Pole, Fort Wainwright, Eielson, Fort Greely, and Clear Air Force Station.
With Fort Wainwright, they've been very active in our work groups. And the work groups are where they brainstorm about how we can solve some of these problems to get efficiencies and save money and work smarter. So we certainly hope to spread that to others across the state.
In November of last year, Fort Wainwright received national recognition and being chosen by Bolden as one of 4 installations nationwide to assist in developing an IGSA model for the entire U.S. Army to follow.
It will be taking some proven concepts and putting them to work to save money, not just for the post, but for the local area as well. It's going to save taxpayers money, and in some cases, it's going to affect public safety too.
This is Monty Bowen reporting.
All right, well, when we come back, Alaska State Troopers are taking to the road.
Also, we have your weekly edition of Backyard Barbecue. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. Alaska State Troopers began the Adventure Relay in Fairbanks today, a race that will end 40 checkpoints later in Seward. The relay started at the Trooper Post with a 5K run through downtown, a float to Pike's Landing, and a bike ride to Esther. In the coming days, runners, hikers, and kayakers will team up to reach the finish line, which is 650 miles away in Seward. They are expected to arrive by July 28th. State Troopers organize the Adventure Relay annually to raise money for Wish Upon a North Star. That Alaskan charity fulfills wishes of children with life-threatening illnesses.
Back to our community in more ways than just public safety. And as you can see, there's families out here. It's a good family event, especially when we're going through communities like Fairbanks, Palmer, and we even have a nice biking leg through Anchorage. It's a good thing for families to do, and for a good cause, for a great cause, actually.
U.S. Senator Mark Begich vented his frustrations today on the Senate floor about the failure of the Veterans Conference Committee to forge a compromise between the House and Senate veterans reform bills. He says it's imperative to get the legislation passed so veterans can get the benefits they earned. The Veterans Reform Bill, which recently passed the Senate, would increase access to health care for veterans in Alaska and across the nation, as well as provide reforms to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, or VA. However, the House side of the conference committee sent notice of a meeting late last night without consulting the Senate conferees, and appeared to try to pass its version of VA reform today without any compromise.
The veterans deserve the care. They earned it. We owe it to them. The bill is due. It's time to pay up and quit nickel and diming our veterans, prepare the services they need, give the VA the capacity they need in order to perform.
The high school portion of the Summer Research Academy at the University of Alaska Fairbanks wraps up tomorrow. The intensive 2-week program that offers in-depth experiences in science and engineering is now in its 14th year. 2 teams in the civil engineering module put their classroom sessions to practical use in the form of a bridge building competition. Each team was to design, construct, and test a full-scale multi-use short-span bridge. The teams were judged on the bridge's overall cost, sustainability, and the amount of time needed to complete the project. The teams came up with unique designs, and the bridges were assembled this morning. Now, both bridges passed load testing, but the winning team was not announced. High school students from all around Alaska and one from Washington State collaborated on the projects. So in addition to engineering, they learned the value of teamwork.
With one mind, you can build a bridge, but with 4 minds or even 5 minds, you can build an amazing bridge, something that has a little bit of everyone built inside of it. And that really makes it strong, and there's a lot of real compassion between the teammates. You help each other out. You get it done. If there's a problem, no one ever gets stuck on something. They always find a way to get it done.
And it's time once again to go outside and see what's cooking with our Backyard Barbecue series.
We're going to go upscale a little bit. We've got a chicken breast here that I pounded out nice and flat. We're going to add a little bit of cream cheese. This cream cheese already has some jalapenos mixed into it. We're going to wrap that thing up nice and neat. And of course, what are we going to do? We're also going to add a little bit of butter in there. And then we're going to wrap it with a nice slice of...
All right, so Backyard Barbecue is getting a little crazy here.
Yeah, it's like a little glitch in the Matrix, I think.
A little bit, but that's
Yes.
okay, because if you tune into News Center Final tonight, you can catch that Backyard Barbecue. What was it about again?
I'm not sure right now, but it was about a competition of some sort involving backyard barbecue items.
Good food. That's what it's
Exactly.
about.
That was interesting, but it will be on News Center Final, and later on this week, it'll also be on our webcenter11.com
Exactly,
feeds,
so you can tune into that. You know you don't
Sure.
want to miss it.
So let's go ahead and talk about sports. Coming up next, the Gold Panthers is playing some solid baseball. We'll have the recap of last night's game, plus the Nanox athletic program looking very sharp academically, also continuing to add to their trophy case. They get awards for that too.
Also, we will take a visit to North Star Golf Club, where a youth golf camp is being held and how your child can join. That's neat. The City Golf Championship will start to tee off tomorrow, so make sure to tune in. More after the break.
Hello, Interior Alaska. No, it's not Snoop Dogg, it's Scoop Dog here for the sports. Let's get started. Let's start off by snooping the Gold Panthers recap from last night. Now, the Gold Panthers strike again in the ABL Wednesday night at Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage. Eric Hutting, who hit 2 for 4 at the plate, had a big night for the Panthers right off the bat, hitting homer twice against the Pilots, along with Brandon Caruso and Vaughn Bozoian, who homered once to help increase the Panthers' lead. Now, not only was it a home run derby for the Panthers, they also were able to capitalize on the mound as their starting pitcher, Jace Puckett, the left-handed junior, throwing a one-hit shutout for 5 innings. By the 6th inning, Panthers had a comfortable lead, 6-0, but the Panthers didn't slow down at the plate. Jacob Hayes singled, then later came home on Vaughn Bozoian. There, you got it. 8th home run of 2014. Hitting continued to shine for the Panthers, wrapping up the win in the 9th, hitting a 2-run shot, making that his 3rd homer of the season. Panthers remain in first place in the ABL American League to 18-7 league and 30-8 overall. The Gold Panthers now head to Kenai for a 3-day, 4-game series starting tonight at 6 p.m. against the Kenai Peninsula Oilers at Coral Seymour Memorial Park. The Alaska Nanooks athletic programs received a number of academic awards for the 2013-2014 season, and UAF continues to add to its trophy case. Recently, the men's cross-country team was recognized by the GNAC for having their 2nd highest combined team grade point average in their sport. UAF's 3.31 GPA was 2nd to St. Martin's by .04. Michael Fehrenbach led 6 GNAC all-academic UAF runners with a 4.0 GPA. The volleyball team also had a 3.31 GPA, which was 3rd best behind Central Washington and Seattle Pacific. Alaska had 4 GNAC all-academic players, and Carrie Knight, the top GPA, a 3.85 in her senior year. UAF also had 16 student athletes named GNAC Faculty Athletic Representative Scholar Athletes. Fehrenbach and Madeline Pfeiffer led all Nooks with their 4.0s. 9 out of Alaska's 10 athletic programs were represented among the 16 selections. Now, 5 students were 3-time winners of this award and 7 repeated as far scholar athletes. Now, for the full list, you can visit webcenter11.com sports page. Now listen up, young people who want to learn how to play the game of golf. Starting next week, the North Star Golf Club is holding a youth golfing camp for ages 5 through 17. The cost is $125 per child, first come, first serve, and they must register by Monday, July 28th. You can register by going to the North Star Clubhouse or online at northstarclub.com. Bernie Stump, the golf pro, explains about the camp and some special equipment they use to help teach children.
Basically, it's to teach kids, golf and the golf swing. And to do it, we use snag equipment, and it's special clubs made for kids so they can understand loft and hitting tennis balls. And we play games with this, and with these games, they don't realize they're learning, but they're learning a lot about swing path and how to get the ball up in the air.
The price per child also includes all equipment along with snacks and drinks. For more information, you can call North Star Golf Club at 457-4653. Well, there are 76 competitors competing in this year's Jose Body and Paint Fairbanks Golf Association Amateur Championship. The tournament opens at 2 p.m. at the Fairbanks Golf Course. The tournament continues through the weekend with the second round on Saturday starting at 9 a.m. at North Star Golf Club. Now, the final round of the tournament starts Sunday at 9 a.m. as well as the Chena Bend Golf Course that's located on Fort Wainwright. Now, the final round of the tournament on Sunday will feature a shotgun start. Golfers will pick their own tee times after the first round on Friday. And stay tuned this weekend for scores and updates of the tournament on KTVF 11 Sports. Now, listen up, Raceway fans of North Pole Speedway. Due to weather conditions, tonight's races have been canceled. And that will wrap it up for sports tonight. Thanks for sticking around a little bit. For more on KTVF Sports, log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, and download our mobile app. And stay cool, Alaska. With all the rain out this way for the golf tournament this weekend, it's not going to look that good. All right, Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast coming up next. We'll catch you next time.
Welcome back, everyone. Time to take a look at the weather once again. Mike Schultz with you, and it looks like the rains are finally coming to an end. The latest satellite is showing that the frontal system is moving through the area right now. We're still going to get some showers tonight, but things are starting to tail off a little bit. It looks like the weekend might be salvageable after all. Our photograph for tonight, sent in by Trish Cullen-Rumpf. She was able to capture the Taslina Glacier in the background there. Very nice shot. And as always, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Out the airport right now, the rain continues to fall, and our normal high is 71. Today's high only 55. The normal low 52. Last night's low 54. Record high 89 set in 1968. Record low 35 in 1917. Daylight under 19 hours of daylight. A loss of 7 minutes from yesterday. Here's our satellite and radar. As you can see, we're looking at the frontal boundary starting to work its way through the Fairbanks area. There's the end of it right there. So if we just kind of push that thing through, we'll be looking at a lot better weather. Although cooler temperatures, we'll tell you about that in just a little bit, what that's causing. And as far as our latest radar is concerned, you can see again, it is working its way through the Fairbanks area. A little heavier showers to the northwest, but it's all coming out of the southwest, and it is slowly moving through the Fairbanks area. Now, what's going on across the rest of the state? Well, for the most part, it's a fairly quiet pattern. We have showers around the Ketchikan area, cloudy skies at Juneau. Of course, the rain over the interior and the southwest part of the state. Cloudy skies up and down the west coast. Chilly at Barrow, 35 degrees there for their high. Fort Yukon, cloudy and 61. Lower 48 weather, more storms moving across the Great Lakes and the Midwest, and then more storms also moving into the Central Plains, while the rest of the country looks like just as very hot and humid. And the overall picture for today calling for lots of hot weather over much of the western half of the country, intense heat over the deserts and the southwestern sections of Arizona, up to 100 in teens, many areas. And the overall outlook for this weekend is calling for the hot weather to continue over the western half of the country, humid conditions over the southeast, showers and thunderstorms across the Great Lakes, so quite a bit of weather going on. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow, the northern sections. Here's what it looks like. Numerous showers in the Fort Yukon area, cloudy skies at Nome, and partly cloudy skies for Barrow. Here in the interior, showers will be tapering off by tomorrow afternoon for Fairbanks, Healy, and Delta Junction. That's some good news. Over the southeastern sections, widespread rain expected at both Juneau and Ketchikan, while over to the southwest part of the state, looking at clouds becoming scattered at Bethel, Cold Bay, and Kodiak Island. And if you head on down the Anchorage Bowl, they're getting a lot of rain. The rainfall is all associated with that frontal system. Rain expected in Anchorage with showers for Valdez and Homer. Well, it's a Thursday night. It means it's time for our fishing report. First of all, we'll talk about our weather advisory we have for the truckers. Once again, beware there is still a chance for some snow, a couple inches of snow west of the pipeline through Friday, so keep that in mind. Now that fishing report, and first of all in the Valdez area, silvers are now arriving. Finally, the pinks are still very hot there. On the Kenai River, it looks like sockeye fishing is still slow at both the Russian River and the Kenai River. And in the Matanuska Valley, lots of pinks and chums, and even some silvers are coming into the park's highway streams there. Elsewhere, Chitna is reporting dip netting as fair, and fishing is better in the Golcana area, but very slow at Clutina because of high water. Thanks again, as always, to Jeans and the Boat Shop for helping us out with our fishing report on Thursday nights. Here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. Cloudy skies, numerous showers, and some areas of fog, 47 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, cloudy skies, scattered showers throughout the day, 56 degrees, only 56 degrees. And there is good news, though. As you can see, Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, maybe showers again on Monday and Tuesday, and then cloudy skies for Wednesday. Temperatures, again, trying to warm up by the first part to middle part of next week, near the 70-degree mark by Wednesday. That's kind of encouraging. While overnight lows dropping down to 43 degrees Saturday night. But rising back up to the low 50s for the rest of the 5-day period.
It is definitely a very cool July.
Yeah, you know what, guys? We're very close to breaking the all-time record for the wettest July on record.
As of this morning, it was half an inch or less.
Less than half an inch,
yes,
yeah.
and you know, with today's rain, who knows at this point?
It's getting close.
We sent firefighters down to the lower 48 because we have nothing going on up here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And did I hear there was snow?
A couple inches west of the pipeline, but it'll be gone by Friday, so it's all right.
Well, that's like July snow. Wow. So if there's any viewers that have pictures of that would be neat.
That's a cold front.
Yeah.
Really cold front.
That'd be really nice to see.
Yeah.
Well, Christmas
well, that'd
in
be
July.
scary to see.
You know the good thing we can say about this time of year? No smoke.
Yeah,
That's
that's
nice
true.
trade-off.
Take the positive with that. Yeah, sure.
A nice trade-off.
All right, thanks, Mike. And that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, why 7 hours of sleep a night might be the magic number. Wait a minute. I'm going gonna check that out tonight. I'm gonna try. So tune in next.
Hello, can you get that much, Dale?
No, not at all,
can't.
actually.
Join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.
Good night.